Right, hello and welcome back to Company of Heroes. So, I've been umming and ahhing about what to do with the end of the campaign here. So, essentially, I've had a number of bugs. I had it crash at one point. It auto-saved on during the enemy turn, and then every time I reloaded it, it would just crash. So I've had to delete an auto-save and reload an earlier save, and uh, which is another thing as well. You can't actually access the save file menu outside of this here. So if you load the game and it's saved on the enemy turn, where you can't do anything until the enemy turn's over, but it's crashing on the enemy turn, it soft locks the game. So I had to go into the files, rummage around for the save, and delete it so it would load an earlier one. So again, pre-alpha, expect bugs. But then I've had another bug where I was attacking Monte Cassino with this armoured division here, this armoured company. It crashes every time. So, I think what's going to have to happen is basically it's going to be a case of I think I'm going to essentially try, and if we can't manage that, then I'm just going to end the series, but we'll have a skirmish game or something to finish on instead. I'm going to try it with a different company. So I've spent a few turns. You might have noticed that the map's a bit more blue now. We've captured a few points here and pushed through. Nothing really. There's not been any RTS gameplay. It's all just been on the map. We blew up an armoured company here. I've been shelling a few divisions that keep spawning in down here. I've just been shelling them as they enter. As you can see, there's new spawns coming in. This seems to be the spawn point of enemy soldiers, and they just keep trickling through. But yeah, basically, the plan here is to see if I can capture Monte Cassino. If not, we'll just have a skirmish match, and we'll finish there. Depending if the game's going to cooperate, really. So. Here goes nothing. It's either going to crash or we're going to get the Monte Cassino Monte Cassino map. And it's frozen. And it's crashed. So unfortunately we can't do Monte Cassino to finish on. So I don't want to leave it on kind of a sour note in that way we just go, oh well, we can't finish it. Because I do want to explain why there's not going to be another episode and we're not going to do Monte Cassino, but at the same time I don't want to put a video out where there's not any fights. So we'll have a skirmish game, and that's going to be that. So we'll just have to pretend that this is the Monte Cassino game or something, unfortunately. Again, I've tried a few different things. I'm trying it with different divisions. I'm reloading it. I've tried it probably 3 or 4 times now. But it does unfortunately seem to be that we can't get a game on Monte Cassino at the moment due to bugs. But this will be concluding our look at Company of Heroes 3. I will say, so far it's been a mixed bag. I think that the first thing they're going to have to do is try and fix a lot of these bugs. If anything, this will have been useful to them for just finding and crushing hundreds of bugs, I imagine. I think, though, bugs aside, looking at the game's development so far, looking at how it's going, it's sort of the direction it's heading in, it very much looks and feels like Company of Heroes. Which is, I'll be honest, when you buy a Company of Heroes game and it being very Company of Heroes, it's like, yeah, that's exactly what I want. The breaching abilities and the tactical pause is quite nice. I imagine that the tactical pause won't be on multiplayer though. So we've got a barracks and a mortar pool to start. And we've got armoured platoon that we can upgrade into. Right, okay. We'll put a med station down, and we'll get some infantry sections. Oh yeah, and we get all the we've got all the toys because it's a skirmish. We don't have to have them all got as platoon abilities, do we? Oh, that's quite nice. Right, we'll get this fuel down here. Oh, that looks bad. Right. Well, yeah, so far so good, I would say, with the game. It's like I say, it's very much. It looks, feels, and plays like Company of Heroes, and I can't really ask for much more than that. I think the biggest change is the single player. If it were a, if that honestly, I like the idea of it just becoming this 4x game. I think that's an excellent direction to take it in. It's very much a natural way to take the game. I can't say for certain if they're splitting away from the commanders system that was in Company of Heroes 2, because obviously this isn't a multiplayer game. But well, they had it in the skirmish games as well. This is a skirmish game. I don't see a commander screen to pick from, so I think that's a very good idea. If you've been on Company Heroes 2, a lot of your abilities and units were hidden behind these arbitrary commanders that you would pick at the beginning. And of course they would sell you these too. And it just felt like a lot of the cool toys for your faction were locked behind these commanders. So for example, the Soviets, they had the KV-1, the KV-2, the IS-2, the ISU-152, the 152 mil artillery, the 203 mil artillery, and the T-34-85s, as well as shock troops and guardsmen, all locked behind what commander you picked at the beginning. Meaning it took a lot of your flexibility away, because obviously amongst those are heavy tanks, powerful anti-tanks, your good medium tanks are all behind that system. We'll put some mines here, I think. So you would have that. Not only that, but we can take some of these buildings here and make them ours. Right. But yeah, you'd have them all stuck behind that. But obviously, the real kicker was the guard rifles. The 120mm mortars were locked behind it as well. But yeah, the guard rifles and shock troopers were the real kickers, because the guard rifles were elite infantry that could take out light tanks, which were absolutely amazing towards the beginning and mid game. So they all just stood there. Great, lovely. Right. But yeah, so really powerful units that were just locked behind this commander's system. Oh, hang on. It's finished, right? Okay. But yeah, so you would have that sort of. You'd have all of that locked behind this commander system, and I'm really glad to see that that's gone, because like I say, it just felt like a lot of your cool toys were locked away, and you might need them later in the game. Like later in the game, you might want to have some, like I say, some anti-tank infantry. The Russians didn't get any with their base kit. They needed the guard rifles. That should have been in their base kit. It wasn't. If you hadn't picked them, and the enemy went for a big tank commander, you are screwed. You are just screwed. Right. We can get some units here. Right, let's get over here. Oh, we have to move these. Yeah, we're gonna have to pull them back completely. So, yeah, you would often find yourself in that situation where you needed certain units and you just couldn't get them. Prevent enemy from capturing key victory point. Wait, it's a skirmish game. What? What? Hang on. So because I lost that one victory point, I lost the entire game. That is not how skirmish used to work. This must be like they must have just repurposed a mission or something for this. As far as I remember, skirmish works by there are 3 points, you capture them and the enemy tickets dwindle. Then when the tickets are down, you win, right? Am I correct in that? Let's try that again then. Oh, different map randomly. Capture all territory around the enemy base. Oh, so it gives you like different... Yeah, I think these aren't actual skirmish games. I think these are repurposed, like, auto-generated campaign missions, I would say. Right, let's get some infantry out. We'll be capturing this in the meantime. We could set up a barracks over in this church. That's something as well. Again, commander abilities that used to be in. You could set up forward barracks and headquarters, but only if you had the right commander and things. And it's loads of features in the game. Really cool things were just locked behind this arbitrary commander system that I absolutely hated. Really weird that they made that decision. Anyway, let's get over here. Right, you will be Unit 2. Another thing as well, these points you used to have to upgrade them before you got the max resources. Guys, take cover or something, for the love of God. Don't just sit there getting shot at. Get a grenade on them. Lovely. Right, we need to turn that into a little fort. I think this game, if this forward barracks if this is a feature that they are just, it's going to be in the multiplayer as well, then holy crap, that will completely change how the game flows. Because I'm just from this now, it's like, yeah, I can, just to give you an idea of what you can do with this, I can go in here, I can turn this into a forward headquarters and just start calling in units. Like, it will just start spewing out soldiers. So yeah, we've now got a forward headquarters here. I can put up a machine gun and some mortars. We'll get these to leave. I'll put some mines along the side here. That's not good. Right. Get him. Ooh. Captured. Get behind something. We've lost a unit. Is it the centre? It's the centre. Get some infantry sections out in the centre line. Yeah, we're low on manpower here. We can turn that into a headquarters as well, that'll help us. But yeah, so as you can see, yeah, this is, oh, that's bad. Yeah, they're just gonna have to retreat immediately. Right. But yeah, I can just spew out soldiers here now. I've literally taken the town in doing this. Can we get behind the heavy cover, guys? Not just stand next to it. Come on. Not only that, but they can reinforce while they're here. So building demolitions are going to be way more important going forward. Oh, that looks bad. We've got mines up. Machine guns there. Engineers are up. Right. Let's get some anti-tank rifles bought. It won't last long then. There, we've got some elite riflemen moving up. Let's get these AT guns and put them to use. push up to the tractor. Gotcha. And grenade. Ooh. Right. So these are pretty securely mine. We can push up with some infantry sections through here. Might be worth getting some Coldstream Guards actually for one of these. We'll get some Coldstream Guards and some infantry. In the base, we can reinforce here. We will build, when we get enough points, we will build a med section, a med station. Then I think it's just going to be saving up for an armoured platoon, and then just battering them with tanks. Mind you, it crashed last time we built a Churchill, so I think I'll just call one in from the side. We'll see if we can get a Black Prince before the end. Nice thing to finish on. We can see some of the new units that we've not seen yet. A Black Prince, eh? Have a look at them. Oh, they're going to get nowhere there. How's that machine gun not firing on them? Right. Ooh. The mortars spotted him. And ooh, that grenade didn't help. Are they close enough to get reinforcements from here? They are. They're just walking out from there. Jesus Christ. Yeah, if this is something that you can do in the online skirmishes, just build these forward barracks, yeah, then just having lots of demolitions is going to be incredibly important to stop this. You will need to be able to just flatten buildings to prevent people from just spamming these. But yeah, I think that the battles are going to be way more defensive than they used to be if this is the case. Because that's really going to change up the pace of this. Right. We've got bazookas and AT rifles here, so we should have no issue killing any tanks that happen to trundle along our way. Motor pool is nearly ready. But, given enough resources, we can just buy ourselves a Black Prince soon enough. We will of course be converting this. And does it literally it costs nothing. It literally costs nothing. That's evil. Are we gonna hit that or what? Come on. Fire the grenade. Oof. Gone. And we will reinforce this squad. And then get back in. Lovely. Right. When did we lose 2 guys here? Ah, so the Coldstream Guards are definitely Scottish. Right, let's get a machine gun and a mortar. Oh, we've got resistance over here. Get to this side of cover. Let's not stand in a field. Oh, they've run away. Right. Right. We're holding on this side. We've got them penned in. Ooh. That's bad. Let's get some smoke down. 520 for the tank. And they are, yeah, they're starting to push with their tanks now. We're going to have some issues here. The part of the game where we use nothing but infantry is now gone. Yep, this is an issue. Bazookas, go! Gotcha. Let's get some grenades off. Okay, Black Prince away! Don't crash the game. And there it is, a Black Prince. Has it not got sound effects? Oh, there's no engine sound effects or anything. It's weird with these things, you don't really notice them until they're not there. I like how they just, it's funny how they just keep T-posing. Just aggressively T-pose. It'll take a bit longer, Especially when we screw up like that. We're going to need a few more soldiers to be able to really take this. But in the meantime, we can be bullying them. I think I've literally used all of my munitions this one on just grenades. Ooh, that's rough. So this is what the German base buildings look like. Got to say, bit better than our tents. Proper bunkers and stuff over here, eh? That flag ain't fluttering. Right. Can I use this like here? Just recon artillery, their base in general. Now the artillery comes in, right? Yep, looks good. Right. Well, we're getting there. Ooh, that looked rough. So just pretend that this is Monte Cassino. And again, unfortunately, it's the best I can do in light of the circumstances. We don't seem to be able to run that mission without it crashing the game. I've tried different units capturing. I've tried a few different, like going back to earlier saves and things. It's not enjoying it. It's really not. It just doesn't want to know, unfortunately. Oh, we have an actual. Well, it's not an enemy tank, but it's not infantry. Right, we'll push up. Come on, everyone fire on them. How close do I have to be then to reinforce? Oh, up there. Just here. That's quite far actually. It's very generous with that. Right, and we'll just keep hammering their base. Don't worry, their morale will crack soon. Yeah, I think something else is going to crack before their morale, guys. In fact, we'll need to bring the tank around here. There'll be a machine gun, won't there? Ooh. Violent explosion. Yeah, there's the MG nest. I mean, they're behind heavy cover, but unsurprisingly, the enemy are now in full retreat. We've routed them off the field. Anyway, thank you very much for watching. That has been the Company of Heroes 3 pre-alpha, sort of, I think they're calling it the co-development program. I like the pun. COH development program. But yeah, it is, again, it's very much the campaign is the big shiny new feature. So that seems to be very much the big shiny new feature. The just kind of RTS gameplay isn't much in the way of, it isn't overly different, but the changes that they've made, the changes to structures and buildings, how they work, how you can garrison and use them as forward bases, I really like actually. I particularly didn't like in previous ones where you'd move up, you'd take positions, and it's like, well, I can put soldiers in there, but then but you want to reinforce them, well, you have to send them all the way back to the base, and then all the way back, and then they're doing the whole, the okey cokey and shaking it all about while the enemy's just trundling over you with a bunch of tanks. But I do appreciate that, and then to kind of counteract that, they've put the breaching function on the infantry, where they can just kind of clear out a building really quickly. So I think that will be used to balance that feature out, but also to address problems that were in the previous game, where getting units that were dug in structures could be quite difficult. A popular tactic in the previous one was to just rush heavy machine guns to next to the centre point on your side and just hold out in a building, and by the time the enemy's cracked you, you've got another force that's already there, ready to reinforce them, and then you just steamroll them from there, because you've got the bonus in resources. When they finally move back, you can move forward a bit, set up another forward line, and the game could be decided in 4 or 5 minutes. But being able to breach, that's quite nice. The biggest change on the RTS side is, it's the lack of a commander's system, which I'm glad to see the back of. I think it was overly restrictive on the flow of the game, and it really, really cut down on your options. Like I said, the Russians, if you wanted to deal with a Tiger, it's like, alright, a KV-2 could, an IS-2 could, an ISU-152 could probably deal with it. Get a couple T-34-85s, they could probably deal with it. Couple KV-1s would probably be able to deal with it. Just like 2 or 3 guard rifles, where you get them with the machine guns so they can button up the tank, which basically makes it it's basically they fire the machine guns at the viewport so that it reduces its visibility to 0, and then you just shoot it in the arse and just lob anti-tank grenades in there so it can't get away, because it does engine damage. That's how you would beat them as Russia, which is primarily who I played as until the British DLC came out. But that's basically what you'd have to do. But all of those options are behind commanders, and if you went for like I'm going to have a derpy fun game where I get like really good conscript troops and just swarm them in the early game and hope to win there, well, late game you'd then have no options to deal with enemy vehicle threats. You'd only be able to spam out T-34-76s, and again, just having the flexibility, having that sort of given back to you, and having all the toys out of the box to play with while you're in a game, I greatly appreciate. But again, the main difference seems to be this sort of overworld 4x strategy game that ties your skirmishes together. Um, Assuming the bugs are fixed on launch, the biggest thing they could do with that would be to make it co-op. If it were co-op, instantaneous sell for me. I'd immediately buy it if that were co-op and I could play it with a couple mates. I believe Company Heroes games support. I think the most they've supported is 4 versus 4. So you could theoretically, keep it Company Heroes and just have. You could have literally four players on your side, all different by different people, versus 4 AI. You could literally do a 4-player campaign. 2-player would be fine for me, but the more the merrier always, and just split the resource income between you all, or maybe just pool the resources and the players would just have to work under Scout's honour. But genuinely, so far, so great. This is pretty much what I would want. I hope that if it's not in at launch, then later on they add back the Russians and some other factions. It would be nice to see. So far, it seems we've got the British, the Germans, and the Americans. I mean, it's based in Italy. I assume there'll be the Italians at some point, and we'll not just be facing generic German troops all the time. It's like, no, the Italians were in the war, Seeing as we are in Italy, it would make sense, I think, to have the Italians in. But yeah, as time went on, we saw perhaps Pacific maps and Eastern Front maps, and they just introduced like a Russian DLC and a Japanese Pacific Theater DLC. It'd be interesting. Oh, that's just reminded me as well. I do like the new the way that they're handling planes as well, where you create a like radio station. At least I think this was for the Americans. You create like a radio station and buy planes that you can then use and reuse the abilities of, and then just have a cooldown while they're refueled, presumably. I appreciate that. I think it's a better idea than it just being random abilities. But yeah, so far so good. That's just my thoughts on it all. Again, apologies that Monte Cassino isn't working. It's out of my hands. Appreciate you for stopping by and viewing. I will see you later on in its development if it gets major patches, new content added. It mentions in that beginning video that they're going to add, they're going to be adding a multiplayer preview at some point, one that's focused on the PvP experience. I'll probably be back on it for that. At the very least, some skirmish games versus AI, but you never know, I might be able to rope people into playing it with me, or just play online with some randoms. But there will be more on the channel. If not on the next updates to the alpha preview, then certainly when it comes out. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you later.